Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Miami Minutes, which is the podcast which wages the battle against sin. That sin being the 1987 movie Miami Connection, 1 minute at a time. It's not a sin. It's not a sin at all. I'm one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
And now I am singing the song It's a Sin in my head over and over. I am your other host, John Parker, the host who has no mercy in his heart for sin.
Really going in on sin.
I must admit, in the million times I've watched this, I never picked up on how amazing that line is.
Well, it's a song that has no chill, as the kids would say these days. I say the kids would say that. It's probably like a generation old now. That
Yeah,
phrase.
old man.
But yeah, it's so there's no kind of like, well, we're just simple guys, writing a song in our garage. They're just like, no, we're going in hardcore ninja battle and iconography and stuff.
It's a fight for the very soul of the town.
It's like everything. There's fire and eyes. There's dirty lies. We'll get into it as we go on. Yeah. This minute 21 of Miami Connection, which opens with a very awkward long cut, and it ends a minute later in the middle of I would say Dragon's best song. That's
I would.
You said this is their best song. You think?
Oh, yeah. Spoiler alert. I was going to save it for later. Yeah. This is my favorite one, without question.
What are the ones we have coming up after this? This is the least one.
Nothing is rocking.
Yeah.
So I suppose we are back as our boys tuck into the tasty grub. Very briefly, as you mentioned. They are really wolfing it down, though. Like, I don't think they're lying about being in a rush.
Well, like when you're really, really hungry as well. It's like we've been sat there. It could be this all like we've been sat here for 90 minutes. Like we came in. The entire restaurant was full when we arrived in, and now like we're still finally the goddamn food has arrived. But
yeah, that's the thing. They weren't in a rush when they got there, but this is their sort of hint at him that like you really dropped the ball on us.
They were really just like, we got everything perfectly planned, and then it's like, God damn it, Uncle Soon, what the hell, man? It's like, no, the fryer's broken. It's like, no, it's fine, we'll just have it. Like, no, you boys, sit down, you go.
My advice to listeners is never plan anything.
No, just don't bother.
Ever.
Just don't leave the house. Just But and particularly, don't try to make your dinner and then assume like, oh, this TV show will come on when I'll time it up. Something will go wrong there as well. Your internet will go up.
That always happens to me. I'm like, right, I'm going to sit down and watch such and such a show. I've got time. All of a sudden, for some reason, there'll be a glitch. Like my Fire Stick won't work, so then I fart around with that. My food's getting cold.
Yeah. The most annoying one for me was. But like 2 Halloweens ago, I was going to do a big rewatch of Hannibal, and I did. But like at the time, I was like, "Oh yeah, it's great. It's on Netflix." And I made a dinner, and I sat down. I was like, "Oh, here we go, baby! Fired up Netflix." They're taking it off. So I better go and like torrent it then. But at that point, my dinner was sitting in front of me. It's like. Oh, for Christ's sake, I had to stick on something else. Just like, all right, I'll start it tomorrow.
It's frustrating. It is. So I do feel their pain, even though we made fun of them a lot last minute. But they genuinely seem to be in a rush, so I'll cut them a little bit of slack, no matter what the cause is.
The whole sequence is still a bit uncomfortable, though. And I put that down to Richard Parks himself's... actually, I think by the time they came to editing this, he would have been long gone.
Yeah.
Then I guess it would be YK Kim would have to blame, because it does go on too long. Like it's almost like Lynchian, and it's just like you expect to sit there for 30 more seconds, and all you can hear is like the fork scraping against the plates, and then cutting to him still nodding and smiling at them.
I would adore that. How awkward is it to have Uncle Song just hovering there?
Yeah. It is kind of like, just like, okay, do you want some? Like,
I tell you what, though, this happened to me in a Chinese restaurant.
Really?
Yep, here in Liverpool.
The director of Miami Connection came and served you your food and just wouldn't leave.
This exact scene happened. No, I went to Chinatown, which listeners, Chinatown's not as exciting as it sounds. Chinatown in Liverpool, it needs investment.
It's like like 6
good.
buildings long.
Yes, yeah.
And some of them aren't even Chinese. Some of them are just like other people.
Well, there's the bagelry there.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's not Chinese. It's great, but it's not Chinese.
Are they Chinese bagels? No, not even vaguely.
But I went to the restaurant Marbeau because I was told, this is when I still ate meat, by the way. I was told, oh, Marbeau, though, that's like legit. It's proper. It's old school. So I was like, okay.
You've got Margot. That's what they told you.
Oh, God, I can't believe I missed that. But, yeah, I get there. There's just, like skinned ducks hanging in the window. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is exactly what I want.
Yeah, no, that's...
It's like I'm in China.
Just want to see them getting pumped full of air and roasted right in front of you.
Well, pretty much, right? You get in, and it looks a bit like this. It's got all the decor is about 30 years old. They haven't changed it. There's a plastic tablecloth, and there's just an old woman. She must have been about 70, just standing in the corner, cooking it in front of you. And it was like you were in a living room. It was really weird. But I got the food, and it was amazing food. It was absolutely phenomenal. But then when she, what did I get? I'm trying to remember now. It was like a wonton soup. Like it had dumplings like floating in the soup, and it had char siu in there as well. It had like a bit of everything.
That sounds pretty good.
It was just fantastic. I don't know if they have any veggie options though, so I don't know if I can go these days. But when she presented it to me, I was like, "Thank you." And then she just stood there. I was like, I waited a few seconds thinking, she'll walk off. She didn't walk off. Once I started eating, she then just sort of sat down at the opposite table and just sat there while I was eating the food. It was really uncomfortable. Beautiful food, but
Did you get like any sort of statement, or was it just like, I'm just not going to say anything and hope she goes away, or was it like, that's good? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had someone with me at the time, so we just kind of talked to each other. But like, I had to, I would be extra loud, like, this is beautiful, because it was weird. She just sat there. I don't think she was actually like being weird,
Yeah.
But the fact that because she's so chill and has nothing to do, because there was only one other customer there, so she just sat down in the dining area.
I don't know if you just turned to the person you're with and I was like, I don't know, it was a bit chewy, and then you just heard like a
what?
Just heard stands up and starts yelling at you in Chinese.
Just throws a knife at me or something.
Just like, like her son comes out, I was like, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to leave. You're gonna have to leave right now.
I was a bit scared that would happen, so thank God it was lovely. If it wasn't lovely, that could have been a problem.
But the thing is, one point though, I think it's Jack, the drummer. He has to, like, at one point he's just like, "We love you," as if he's regretting his passive aggressiveness by like. Maybe that's Uncle Song's. Maybe that's his way. It's to like psych you out, just like to make us fun. So he's like, maybe I'll just stand here and make you feel bad.
I mean, it's a good trick. It works, right?
It's like, they're just. He's sitting there the whole. Like Jack's sitting there the whole time. He's like, I can't wait to give out. He's still there. Yeah, Uncle Song. Yeah. He's really
Who loves your song, baby?
He's really staring into my soul here.
I love it. It's such a good tactic if that's the case. But it's quite nice that they, we were making fun of them saying they were being jerks last minute. But to be fair, when they get the food and they're eating it, they do genuinely seem, really excited to eat it, even though they're Russian. Yeah. They're like, they're into it.
Yeah, and I imagine too, like they must be given like probably good portions and stuff, because I think Uncle Song, he has that vibe too of been like, oh, you're growing boys. It's like,
eat up, you need this.
Like, they're all 38, man. It's like, they don't need the MSG, quite frankly. Like it's going to destroy some of their interiors. But
no, goddamn MSG and everything, baby.
So actually giving them entire pints of milk. It's like, oh, it's good for you. It's like, not at this age. It's good for you when you're like 10 or under. Over 10, it's bad for you. Okay.
Yeah, it is actually. I'm not a vegan. I'm a vegetarian, so I do have milk from time to time, but I do try and limit it because it messes with your gut.
Oh Yeah, that was one of you see like Kevin Smith now. They've got Clerks, Silent Bob, Kevin Smith. He's way slimmed down because he had that heart attack. I remember him saying like one of the big things he had to take out of his life was milk. He's just like, I drink like a whole 2 pints of milk a day. Like I love milk. Ooh. And then it's just like he didn't realize. It's like, I grew up people telling you it's good for you. He didn't realize like, no, it's full of fat. Like it's incredibly fattening.
It's got loads of bad things. It can mess your sinuses up, all kinds of. I'm not trying to put any listeners off milk. Again, I'm not vegan, but curtail your milk intake.
Yeah.
Keep it to trim it back.
Keep it to the cereal, or if you're having something very spicy.
Yeah, I mean, I save it for special things because I'm all about desserts. I'm all about the pudding.
Yeah.
Americans, that's the interchangeable word here. So shut up. Pudding and dessert's the same. It's not your crap. But so ice cream's my favorite thing. So I'll have it as a treat. Oh, it's got milk in it. That's fine. I don't even have it on cereal. I'm all about the oat milk on that.
One of Uncle Song's got a dessert in the back. He's also got like, oh yes, I had to start the what do you call those things that take ages to prepare? The
souffle?
The souffle. It's just like, oh, I got your souffles on, boys. Don't worry. Another 45 minutes.
I remember once I ordered the souffle in a restaurant and they were like, oh, excellent choice. That's my personal favorite. And then he leant in and went, it will be 20 minutes. I was like, bring it on, baby.
20 minutes isn't bad though. Like that's particularly too if you're I guess you even if you finish the meal, because then at least you give time to digest and stuff. But
yeah, exactly. I didn't mind. I was like, I'm in no rush. No. I'm not these boys.
I know from Frasier that you should, if you're planning to get a souffle, you should order ahead before you even enter the restaurant. It should be, but he's the type who the whole menu will be planned out ahead of time.
Oh,
and I'd be like,
yes,
no, we've pre-ordered the souffles. Yeah.
I probably should have done that. It was the Ritz.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah. It was the only time I've ever been there, and I was like, I'm at the Ritz. I'll have the souffle.
Yeah, I think if I was a waiter, I would have to, like, no matter what it was, I would be like, that is my personal favorite, sir. It's like,
he probably says that about every fucking dessert on that menu,
it's just like, ooh, flavorless vanilla ice cream. My personal favorite, sir.
Oh, yeah,
highly recommended by the chef.
They were very pretentious. It was great, but they did the whole, they were all French for a start. It's like, I'm in London.
It's like, this is very good, sir.
Yeah, they were. All of them, every single one of them, probably putting it on, probably not even French. And all the food came out on, covered trays. And in unison, they lifted the lids off and went, voila. I was like, oh, come on.
Oh, that sounds great. And I guarantee they're all like named Graham and they're from like Northumberland or something. Yeah. So, there's not a goddamn chance any of those guys were French. But they're all like theater students. So like, this is good exposure for you guys. This is, get used to being in character all night and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, it's method, right?
But what must us do that look at they've got the red cups there on the table. But the liquid in there, I'm thinking these guys are they're skimping. I think they're just on the water. I don't think there's no. Maybe that might be where Uncle Song draws the line. It's like, I'll make you the food for free because you're my boys, but I'm not giving you free colas or anything. Like that's, how much of the, like, I can buy rice and stuff for next to nothing, but like a freaking case of Coca-Cola costs? There's no goddamn way. No, you either buy it or you have water, and they're like, all right, we'll have the water. Is there any ice for it? No, there's no ice for it.
You're probably right, and I could totally see them doing that, and they'd play it off as like a health thing because they're fitness people, but really it's because it's like, well, I don't want to spend like $1.
I mean, it's either that or they're just having tumblers of vodka because they're like, well, we're going on stage, just like wolfing down your Chinese food and then just guzzling down like a pint of vodka after.
Hey, you've got to have the occasional drink before you go up on stage. It's terrifying. So I could see them doing that on one hand, but I don't know. I imagine Mark especially teetotal.
Oh, totally. Oh, 100% those guys are teetotal. Like, yeah, some of them probably weren't when they arrived at the, orphanage. But yeah, I can imagine that's probably very much his. He's one of those guys, he wouldn't even touch like any kind of caffeine.
Yeah.
Unless it was like a green tea or something. Yeah, he'd be very much like, I'm getting, all my energy's coming from Taekwondo. Like, why would I need any other stimulants? Like,
He's high on life.
yeah, it's like sometimes you just need, a little boost in the morning. And Mark's, no, you don't. You gather that from the air around you.
Yeah, I could totally buy that. That's his vibe. I wonder if YK Kim drinks. I could imagine he doesn't as well.
No, I would imagine so. He'd be the type, like, you'd see at some sort of big event he'd be having, and everyone be going around, like, giving out the moderately priced champagne, and then he'd be there. It's like, no, just the, he'd be having some matcha, or some
tepid tap water
in a red cup.
Yeah. I brought my own cup.
It's like, it's the same one from Miami Connection. Like, you've had that cup for 35 years. Like, yeah.
He just permanently has them in a little bag.
It's like, well, it makes the water taste better,
I mean, he's not wrong. The glass or the cup can completely change a drink in some ways. I know it's a placebo. I know it's in your head. But they did a study, for instance, on coffee and found it was nicer in a white mug.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can look that up. I can't remember the exact, but it was quite detailed. It wasn't just some idiot sampled 3 people. I think it's the way it works on your mind and visuals.
The same thing with, like, the toast is better when it's sliced.
Yes.
It's like, I remember someone said that to me one time. They're like, wait, I can't remember what, but they were just watching me eating toast and like, you've not cut it. I'm like, well, no, I just don't. And he was just like, it's a known fact that it tastes better when it's cut diagonally. And I was like, get the fuck out of it. And then, of course, the next time I was like, did it. And then after, he just had oh my God, it is better. What the hell?
And it's got to be cut into triangles.
Yeah.
If you cut it just straight down the middle, it is better, but it's not as good.
So what it is, like, what sort of particle physics involved in that? Like, it's the dispersion of certain elements within the wheat or whatever.
I think it's purely some kind of visual trickery on your mind. But at the end of the day, who cares? If it tastes nicer, even if it's fictional brain nonsense, then it tastes nicer.
Yeah. That's just like sometimes, too, you get, like, when things you're not supposed to eat or you're not supposed to do. This is the sweetest taboo, So I remember one time, like, I was lying around, and I was really thirsty, but I couldn't be bothered to get up. And my friend had a glass of water in front of him, and he left the room for a second, and I was just like, took a little swig of that water. And to this day, this was like 10 plus years ago, and that still was like the greatest gulp of water I've ever had in my life because it was so satisfying on every level. But also knowing it's like, no, he doesn't know that I'm supposed to. It's like, he would never have. I could have just asked him. He might have given me a bit of water. But
wouldn't be the same.
Yeah. That'd be a whole thing of just like, I can't finish this glass now that you drank from it. But no. Then watching him come back in and drink from that same glass, and I knew in my head, I was like Uncle Song, just like nodding and watching him the whole time.
Uncle Song's had a little fork full of each dish there.
He's like doing it right beside the door too, just so there was an added risk that they would see him. He's taking a sip out of all those cups.
Actually, I've just noticed that they're eating with forks, and it is a known. I don't know about Korea, but it's a known thing. China, Malaysia, etc. You do not eat a rice dish with a fork. You use a spoon.
Ah.
If you're not using chopsticks, that is,
That's the thing, too. I was going to say, like, you think YK would be stepping up with the chopsticks. Him, at least the rest of them all might be all ignorant Americans. But, like, YK Kim's obviously a man. He embraces his culture. But
at the same time, I imagine he's probably the sort who's like, oh, I'm in America now.
No, could be. It also could be like, we've not got the time to fill around with chopsticks. We gotta get this food in you quick.
Korean chopsticks are different. I mean, they have similar ones to others, but a traditional one is they have metal chopsticks.
Ah.
Which most other countries I don't think really have. Not as the norm, anyway. Not metal ones. That's a Korean thing. They look pretty cool.
Oh. And Maybe that's why Uncle Song, we're saying he's happy. Maybe it's a grimace of just like, look at these assholes. Like, I didn't even put out forks for them. Like, they brought their own.
He's got them with his cups.
Yeah, that was Mark's warning was just like, bring your own forks, guys. He's not gonna, like, he'll give you a metal fork, chopsticks, but Mark, we don't know how to eat with that. Like, That's the only thing he says they can have it for free if they can eat it with chopsticks.
That's it.
And then they walk him in just like out of the breast pockets of their coats, just. And that's also the chance too that like Uncle Sung's just kind of getting off in this, just like, oh yeah, that's right, wolf it down, man. Like, this is like one of the things. That's why the restaurant's empty, is people know him. Like, yeah, he stands and watches you, and it seems like he's really into this. Like, and then he just likes people to still tell them that they love him, while they do it.
Tell me you love me.
That's why Jack's are, we love you.
Just say it again.
It's like, that's why they're getting for free. He's like, no, otherwise you have to pay like $20 for all this food. But anywho, from this long, awkward, how long does it go on for? It's at least like 4 or 5 seconds. And that was already on top of like, there was like 6 seconds of this before in the last minute.
It's unnecessarily long and I love it.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard about myself.
I was just going to say about just any of our podcasts. Seeing people now like, oh, I'm going to listen to that Wednesday coverage you guys are doing. How long is this episode? 2 hours, you say?
You get the joy of hanging out with Niall and I for 2 hours. No. It's a bonus show anyway. You should be lucky to get it.
Oh, I kind of that one too. Like, come on, we're covering 2 episodes. You think we talk a lot about 1 minute of a thing? We're covering 2 whole episodes in that show. So
yeah, and we managed to do 2 episodes in 2 hours. That's unheard of. We're used to minute by minute.
Yeah. But then we cut to, oh boy, what an intro to a song.
Oh, and they must have made it in time, I'm assuming, right? This is the gig.
Well, yeah, maybe that's why they need to get there, because like, the pyrotechnic guys are all going to be there. Like, we have a whole floor show to set up, and lasers to set up. There's a whole big thing. It's like, Dragon Sound. It's like, there's only like 5 members of the core band, but all our crew are also a Dragon Sound.
They're all involved, yeah, because you'd want to do a sound check, presumably, as well, if you've got all this going on.
Yeah, Craig, the dry ice guy, Sheila does all the costumes for them. That's how they get, changed from the geese into the orange Dragon Sound tees.
It's a whole production.
Yeah, they got a whole, it's either that, or this venue does this show, like, literal explosions and sirens and stuff going on for, like, everybody. Like, you're going to see Glenn Campbell at this place, and he's just like, I am a lineman for the county.
Woo! Sirens, pyro, what a fucking show.
It's like, Merle Haggard got blinded there because one of the lasers went into his eye or something.
Lasers need to make a comeback. Just the 80s predicted that like lasers would be everywhere. Constantly, just lasers.
Yeah. Who doesn't love a laser? What would anyone have against a laser?
Unless it's in your eye.
Yeah, unless you are like a teacher and someone's brought a laser pointer, then you would very, very reasonably absolutely despise lasers.
God, remember everyone had a fucking laser pointer.
Yeah, except me. But like,
but like 99% of every single person you came across in a day would have one, like on their keys or something.
And that was the big crisis of the late 1990s, and I'm sure every other era where they rear their ugly head. There was a big thing like, no, you have to ban those because they're going to blind students and stuff. They're going to point them directly into the other people's eyes and stuff, into the teacher's eyes, things like that.
Even though you could easily do that, I could blind you with a pencil in your eye.
Yeah, they used to go. I remember seeing it, and people used to do it on like certain times when the sun would get in the sky and would go in the window, and you could kind of get it on your watch, and you could reflect that into the teacher's eyes. I remember people used to do that all the time, the wind-up teachers, just to be like, just when they're up in front, just like, it looks as if you're just moving your wrist. But, if you know how to do it, you can actually get, like, concentrated beam of light into their eye and stuff.
I used to try and do stuff like that.
This was in, like, university, but this is when I was 22 years old.
This is what the Dragon Sound boys get up to, when they're meant to be studying.
Yeah, it's like, I got out a student loan just so I could come here and do this stuff. I don't care about what you're teaching. I'm here just to bug the teachers.
I'm here for the bants.
Yeah, $30,000 a student debt, worth it.
Worth every penny.
Every single day I was in there with that laser pointer, and what they're gonna do? They can't do anything, do you?
Have you noticed something about this music, by the way? It's the same as Friends.
Whoa!
That burglar burp burp.
Oh, I thought you meant the theme tune to Friends.
No.
Oh, that would be great though. Just dragon sound. They would totally perform that. So everything in the lyrics of "I'll be there for you" kind of sounds like that could be a dragon sound. Well, at least the chorus, at least. You know?
I'll be there for you.
all the verse stuff about like, you know, life not been that great. That's not very dragon sound, but you know the actual.
Then again, the actual message behind it is, it's like even if your life is going really bad, I'll be there for you.
Yeah. So maybe they'll change it into like, you know, when the ninja blows start to fall or something. You know, they make it a bit more dragon soundy, but.
No, I'm going to be totally honest, right? I didn't notice that the music was the same until Ash, who does our theme song, I said to him, "Oh, which one did you decide to do?" And he's like, "Well, you know what? I checked it out and they're both the fucking same." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, it's the same tune.
Maybe that's what you need all the pyrotechnics for, and all like the toe nose grab is to distract people. I'm like, these guys are just playing the same song over and over and over again.
I think the verses are slightly different, but the chorus bit's the same. And the lyrics we mentioned, I love it. Against the ninja, we will fight the battle to win. Against the ninja, we will fight to battle the sin. These motherfuckers are taking out the entire concept of sin.
Yeah.
What heroes.
Was written, of course, by John Doe from the movie Seven. His favorite band was Dragon Sound.
It turns out Seven was inspired by this moment.
Seven and David Lynch from that really long take of Uncle Song.
Yeah.
It's like, when I was editing Blue Velvet and I saw the greatest movie playing at the theater, and I thought, yes. And then, like, you know, David Fincher was a couple of seats down. It's like, if only I had a movie about battling sin.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the thing, though. Again, this feels like this would have been the song that set off potentially the hatred between Yoshido and Dragon Sound. Starting his whole thing of like, well, you need to take care of that band in order to control that area, which is still makes no sense. But I guess when he sat down, they were just like, they started singing a song about against the ninja, and he was like,
I'm a ninja.
Like, I'm a ninja. Like, unless he was really, like, you can see it was upsetting Jeff. Like, they were going on about, like, there's fire in their eyes, no mercy in their hearts. And Yoshido was like, oh, they got us, all right. And then Jeff looked really annoyed. He's like, oop.
Yoshido loves it. It's his favorite band.
It's like, oh, you got to take care of Dragon Sound. If you want to come and, they can come work for me. Like, that would be the best way to take care of them, I think.
Also, I think it would work. It would work better at a different point in the movie because they're not singing it about Yoshito and co. because they don't know they're ninjas yet, do they?
No, but
they
at
just
the same
know
time,
that like Jeff is some dude who's a jerk because he's the brother of Jane.
Well, this thing like because actually we should point out this is Jane's big moment. She's the lead singer of this song. This is her like gleaming, and as I say, she's doing a good job live. If you're just listening, it's like there's clearly multi-tracked their voice. Like it's not just her singing; it's her singing, but they've put on a bunch of they've layered her vocals. So it's like
which is the '80s way of doing it, but it's not live.
Yeah. Although they still do it now. I think sometimes they just do it to like bump up live sound because I remember seeing a performance of Marina and the Diamonds. I don't think she's just Marina now.
Just Marina now, yeah.
And she's a big thing. And then you see it was her. She had a backing singer. And you could tell, like, oh, these are all live vocals. And then when the chorus kicked in, there was a backing track of her singing. I guess maybe because she's just like, well, you want this to have the oomph it does in the recorded version. And if I'm kind of between breaths because that's the way you'd have to sing it, you need something there so it doesn't fall flat.
I get that is a thing. And pop acts do that all the time. Even like I like Billie Eilish, but she does it, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should. I think it annoys me. I mean, I'm a punk rocker. I like live sound. You don't need that. Make a song you can actually fucking perform. You know.
Sometimes they'll come out and they'll have to like. That was always the way with I guess Queen were like quite open about it because they'd come out and do Bohemian Rhapsody live. But to do all the that'd be all live. And then when it came to all the Galileo stuff, they're like, you can't do that live. So they just would have to play that part of the single, and then they'd come back in for like the big guitar solo
But see, that's
and play
lame.
all that live.
Don't play it live then if you can't do it.
I guess they're just like we got in our heads in the studio. We didn't realize that we were to take this out. There's just no way you can actually pull this off live.
Well, keep it as a studio curio then. You don't have to do it.
Okay, all right. Imagine you just paying 60 quid to see Queen live in Wembley, and then watching that like, boo! Get the hell out! Just don't bother performing it then.
It would annoy me. It really would.
I started to think though, as I was making my notes, because like, yeah, you know, they wouldn't know anything about the ninjas. They were just roughed up by Jeff. Well, one of them was, and they had to step in.
Yeah.
They don't know that he's in any way affiliated with ninjas.
That's the thing. They don't know he's affiliated with the ninjas. So what I would do is either put it later in the movie so they know, but then it's a bit weird that she's singing about it. You know. So what you could have had happen is they've already had an encounter with some of the ninjas. Maybe the ninjas have like roughed up some people at the club, you know, and Dragon Sound saved the day. Yeah. So this is their song in retaliation to that. Like, oh, you know, there's these awful ninjas, you know, who are going around roughing people up. And we're against that. But they don't know Jeff's part of it yet.
Well, see, my thinking is, because you remember, of course, at the start of the movie, Escape from Miami was also singing about the exact events that were happening. As if, you know, Dragon Sound knew about that in advance as well. I would posit this. Like, we never saw the origins of Dragon Sound. And, you know, who would among them know about, like, the ninjas that are running around that Jeff's affiliated with? Who's been in town the whole time and is, you know, has someone nearby who's very, very close quarters with all these ninjas goings-ons? I think Jane wrote these songs.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. Yeah. We assume like, oh, the orphanage is like, that's where Dragon Sound met and they formed, and it's a brotherly bond band, and then she was brought in because they wanted a girl singer. And I posit, no, Jane is like a musical prodigy who's been hiding it from her brother the whole time. That's why she's like, I'll go in and make the circles on the computers and stuff. But my real passion is music. And then so she probably put up there, like, you know, wanted members of band. Yeah. And then all her songs are about, like, yeah, my brother's going out and dealing with all these friggin' ninja psychos. And they're all escaping from Miami and, you know, stealing cocaine along with their life and all this business. And the whole time it's been Jane. She's the one. She's the real mastermind. She is the dragon in Dragon Sound.
I love that idea. I really, really do. Because it changes her whole dynamic with her brother. Where she's actively like, I'm against what he's doing.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I love him because he's my brother, but this.
Yeah, it's actively, dare I question YK Kim, it's actively a more interesting story if it's about, like, oh yeah, she's also the leader of Dragon Sound and having to hide it from him. And that's what he's like, oh, I gotta get away from that band. It's like, dude, she is the band. Like, that's why she can sing. You can see she's a good singer. But, you know, you didn't know she could sing. Presumably she's been having to, like, Jeff's been hearing this singing voice around. She's like, oh, there's a ghost. There's a ghost in the house that sings, apparently. He sings about ninjas.
Just ethereal ghost sounds.
He's like, that goddamn ninja ghost singing up the can't play sleep at night.
I'm against the ninja. But it gives her something to do, because that's a criticism people do have. That people aren't being too serious because it's just a fun movie, you know. But people say, it's a shame she doesn't have a lot to do other than being like a love interest. Yeah. So that would make her a bit more exciting.
I would say to YK Kim, pull a Stallone. You know, he had very famously there recently, you know, Lester Stallone wrote and directed Rocky IV, which is ridiculed for years. But if you watch Rocky IV as it is, like, you know, the original version, you can see that, like, there's something in here, though. You could make a movie out of this. Like, all the stuff with Apollo Creed's great. And then Sylvester Stallone went and re-edited the whole thing, put stuff back in that the studio made him take out, released that, you know, Rocky versus Drago cut.
Still haven't seen it.
Everybody loves it. It's a proper, like, oh, yes, like, you can imagine that being a threesome with those two Creed movies. It's that serious. Oh. And it actually conveys, like, at the end, I think it does, like, little things like, you know, the whole, like, oh, if I can change, then you can change, and, like, the, you know, the Russian premiers, you know, applauding Rocky and stuff.
It basically takes down communism.
Yeah, but the actual point of that speech was intended, and now is in that other cut, that he's not talking to the audience, he's talking to Drago. And the audience don't start applauding until after the speech, and the Russian premiers don't applaud at all. But it's him going like, you hated me, but if I can, and I hated you for killing my best friend, but if I can change, and you respect me now, then you thought I was some speck, but now I beat you and stuff. So he actually Stallone went in and he made like a really, really good movie 30 years later, and was like, oh yeah, so I fixed Rocky IV, and there it is now.
Except for no robot.
Well, that's the tragedy is the lack of robot as well, but. But he's kept all the montages as well. He's like, there you go.
Well, they're integral. They've always been part of Rocky, haven't they?
Yeah.
And they weren't that cheesy, I don't think, at the time. They were by the time of Rocky IV, but when the first two movies do it, it's like, well, it's quite interesting and new,
I think it's because the original cut of Rocky IV is literally like 4 montages in a row.
Yeah.
There's the one he's driving around. And it goes on for about 20 minutes. It's like, and it keeps cutting, like, it's all shots from the other movies. And it keeps cutting Stallone driving. You're like, dude, just get on with the goddamn movie.
I kind of love it, though. And isn't there just one of him, climbing a mountain for ages?
Yeah. But I think there's one, he does that. I know he has one where he's starting his training. And, it's like the moment of truth or something plays. That's a montage. Then Adrian shows up. There's like a 30-second scene where she doesn't even say anything. And then he hugs her. And then it cuts into Hearts on Fire. It's another montage. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Hearts on Fire.
But yeah, so I would say to YK Kim, you could, if there's any deleted footage with Jane, you could reconfigure this into like quite a good story about like, well, it's actually her. She, she's having to, maybe she's not skilled at Taekwondo, or maybe she is. If she wrote this, the chorus is just Taekwondo. So unless she's like Mr. Miyagiing it, and it's just like hanging back, it's like I do know Taekwondo, but I'm not fighting. Like I only fight in self-defense. Or it's just sort of we could call this a concert, or we could call it a rally. Maybe she's trying to inspire the community to go out, rise up against her brother, who used to be such a sweet boy, but now he's been ruined by his life of crime, but she doesn't quite see that he's only doing it for her, and therein lies the conflict, you see. And it's like, there you go, it's drama, it's good.
That would be cool, yeah. Then she finds out at like a crucial moment, like a mid they're fighting all the ninjas, and then she doesn't know what to do. Can she go on? Can she fight them when he's doing something so selfless?
Yeah. But yeah.
What a shame. Now, in funny news, not news, but in funny sort of noticing, the instrument miming is even worse, and therefore much more amusing.
Well, I mean, they're not even going to try with the vocals. It's just like, how the hell?
All of them, though. Like you can understand YK Kim, okay, but like other people who have played instruments are just like, fuck it.
It's the last day of filming. It's like, or it's very late at night, and they're just like, oh my god, yeah. Everyone's had a few. It's like, yeah, Jane, you stand up and sing a thing. YK's still, I can imagine the thing, because the rest of them look like they're half falling over. This is exhausted, but YK's still like, hey guys, let's keep it going on.
I imagine he never tires.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Mrs. K. Kim says.
Oh yeah, he's got stamina, baby.
Of course, this is also the debut of the Dragon Sound t-shirts as well, because I think they were wearing gis the last time, right?
They were, yeah. This is a classic. Like when they get back together for reunions and stuff at Comic Cons and things like that, they always put these on now.
Yeah.
Often with sleeves these days, though.
That's the thing. I was like, I would. It's the one thing put me on. Well, also the color. I don't really dress in things that like that shade.
Oh, that's my. I was gonna say second favorite color, maybe third.
Yeah. But then the thing is, like, if someone bought me a Dragon Sound t-shirt, if they bought me this Dragon Sound t-shirt, I'd still definitely wear it. I just wouldn't choose to buy it for myself, Well,
I mean, we have to own one because we host this show.
Yeah. You have to, and of course, cut if there are sleeves, you have to cut off those sleeves because.
Yeah, that's what I wear every time we record an episode. I mean, I just wear that, sleeveless, nothing else, no pants, nothing.
Also cowboy boots on occasion, but the mood strikes it,
Sometimes I may wrap a Taekwondo belt around my waist.
As long as it's around your waist and not like your neck or something.
Oh.
It's getting really into like now we're getting back into David Carradine territory, I think.
R.I.P.
Yep.
But I love the chant as well, getting the audience participation. Taekwon.
I think I know we'll get to it, but like those are some fist bumps going right there.
Oh yeah, they certainly are. And you know what Taekwon means?
No, what does it mean?
Kick, punch.
Ah. Oh, so I wonder though, because we can't see them. Are they all doing a little kick motion underneath?
I don't
as
think
well?
they are though. That's the shame. Like they should be doing it.
But then everyone's just kicking the back of the calf of the person in front of them, like ah.
Well, because the name, I mean, literally, it's very similar to Japanese. Actually, do means like the way. So it's like the way of kicking and punching, like as in the technique of, the art of, that.
The foot fist way.
Yeah, the foot fist way. There you go. That's a good way of translating it. That's cool.
That makes it sound, because it always sounds like, it must be some very mystical meaning. It's like, no, it's actually punching. Very, very, like, you're going to understand why, like, 8-year-old children are really into it.
Well, that's its main sort of feature, isn't it? Is the kicking, I would say. Because everyone thinks of Taekwondo as essentially spin kicks and things like that. And that is, like, the identifying feature, I would say, as a layperson. Big spin kicks, things like that.
Yeah. But the fact that the crowd are into it already, though, because like this is Dragon Sound's second gig.
Well, we think it is. We don't know how long they've been going. Remember, we've talked about that. They could have been going for years, months.
Yeah, we know it was their debut at this club, but it could be that they're like, that's why there was a crowd there. It's like, they got Dragon Sound. They got them for like the house band. And now it is like, that's why you get, like, they didn't give Celine Dion a Vegas residency when she was just nobody. They're like, well, you got to give it to Celine.
Yeah, exactly. So, maybe these guys have worked their way up, and the previous club they were at was packed out. So this is a bigger club, but they've brought the audience with them, maybe. Or it's their second gig.
Yeah, but I mean, otherwise, I guess it's not that difficult a thing to remember, but like, the fact that the crowd are singing the chorus, it's or is it they may be of their own accord going Taekwon.
I don't know. I'm someone who, I can't play instruments, but I'm musical in the sense that I pick up songs really fast. Like at a gig we played the other day, the support act was on. And I found his first song, I started singing along to the chorus. He's like, I'm just a fat bloke with no tattoos. I'm like, yeah.
That's not very Dragon Soundy.
I thought it was great. All of his songs were just taking the piss out of himself.
Yeah. But just imagine again, that was like the later days Dragon Sound albums. Like, yeah, fat guy with no tattoos.
Oh,
like, don't be so hard. Do you remember when you guys used to be fun?
No, this is our serious introspective work now.
Yeah, this is the Rick Rubin produced Dragon Sound.
They go all prog on album 5. 30-minute songs, 15-minute guitar solos.
Yeah, bringing in Joanna Newsom to do 17-minute like harp solo in the middle.
I mean, I would pay to hear this. I won't lie.
And then just in the middle of it, she starts going Taekwon.
May I read the next set of lyrics? I don't want to steal your thunder if you've got them.
No, go right ahead.
Because I thought the next set of lyrics are metal as shit. They go, there's fire in their eyes, no mercy in their hearts. They tell their dirty lies to finish what they start. Evil is their drive. Hell possesses souls. Won't get them alive. The feeling's twisted cold. I can imagine Metallica doing this.
Yeah. That is 100%. That's a full-on Iron Maiden kind of thing.
Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne.
That's why you see it in the back of the crowd is all the metalheads like, yeah.
Well, even more reason Johnny Lawrence would love this fucking movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. Jeez, yeah. Oh, but just imagine then like all that would be a perfect thing. They get all the metalheads start getting into Taekwondo. The hair gets cut because it's getting in their eyes and all that kind of.
Oh, that would actually be a good story because maybe in 80s movies the punks and metalheads are always like criminals and stuff.
Yeah.
So that could be Mark, through this, they come to him and he helps them. He gets them off the streets. He gets them doing something good with their life in his eyes.
Well, or this is, again, Jane trying to raise an army. She's like, I got to take down this ninja. Like,
G.I. Jane.
Yeah, she whips off the wig, the shaved head the whole time.
I've been bald the entire time, suckers.
I do it every time with my hat. I just love seeing the people's faces. Like, what the hell?
You should just do it casually though, like you're not making a big thing. You just remove the hat, scratch your head, and pop it back on. But pretending like you haven't seen people looking.
But that would be the thing. Like, again, she was like, I need to, drag us out are great and all, but I need to like get the public against this ninja gang. So I'll have to write the greatest song in the world, and so therefore she does. And but I need to appeal to a broad demographic. I'll deliberately write a verse that's designed to sucker in the metalheads. So we'll just write in a bunch of like, no mercy in their hearts. They tell their dirty lies. Finish what they start.
Evil is their drive. Hell possesses souls. Hell yeah.
It does sound like a personal judgment as well. It's like either if Jane didn't write this, like, has Mark met ninjas or something? It's like that's really judgmental against ninjas.
It sounds like he's had a really bad experience, but maybe he took part in the Mortal Kombat tournament and he fought hell-possessed souls of ninjas.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, that's how he's an Orpan.
Yeah,
his family died during Mortal Kombat. And then he was the only one who managed to get away through the power of Taekwondo. They don't know in the in the Mortal Kombat realm. They don't know Taekwondo. So,
that's what it is. When he says there's fire in their eyes, he means it literally. He fought Scorpion.
Yeah. There's eyes shooting out their hands. One guy is a lizard or something, I think. The other one's got 4 arms.
Hell yes. No mercy in their hearts. You know what that's referencing? Finish him.
Oh, totally, yeah. Oh, it is great though. I don't know if it's my favorite. I think I like the cheesiness of Friends because it's just so wholesome.
It's
whereas
wholesome.
This is like a legit banger in terms of like, oh no, you could play this to people and they'll be like, yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah. Whereas Friends, I think would get an arched eyebrow like, so this is what for. This was rejected by Barney or something. Like,
this is a goddamn song for kids.
Or maybe they stole it from the other band.
Yeah.
Like, we need to adult things up. Throw in a couple of hells and stuff there.
Oh yeah, talking about the darkness and souls, evil.
The original lyric was "Heck possesses souls."
That's such an American thing, not being able to say hell. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's always the thing. It's like I remember watching American cartoons, like where people just say hell. This is just talking about like it's a noun. And you go to a Catholic school, that's a place that exists. They'll be like, you're not allowed to say, friggin' Liverpool.
The bank.
Like, the bank is just like, you're going to HE double hockey sticks. Like, get the hell out of here with that. And then I remember Rocco's Modern Life, a show that seemed to push the boundaries quite a bit.
Well, that was a show where he works on a fucking sex phone line.
Yeah, but I remember that show distinctly. They had we call Heifer.
Yeah,
go
Heifer,
like, you're going to heck, and Rocco's like, don't you mean to say? He's like, no, you can't say that. And it's like, oh man, so I think America. I guess they are very puritanical over there because, you'd be surprised. Like because I things on YouTube I watch every week doing like box office breakdowns, and we always hear about like the big hitters and stuff like that. But this one always have to go into like, well, in terms of Netflix ratings, The Witcher and whatnot's doing great. But of course, Coco Melon, the thing for babies, is still there because, of course, the babies are watching it all the time. Parents have it on, and said Peppa Pig, all that kind of stuff. And then there's always the thing of like, number 3 in the U.S. charts is some religious movie. It's just like an independent religion movie for Christians, and it's just like, that's slipped in there.
I mean, I'm glad that exists for people who need, who want that kind of thing. But the fact that it's that high in a chart is shocking to me.
Yeah. Black Adam is bottoming out. And yet, like friggin' Christ's Crucible with Kevin Sorbo is actually getting places.
I feel like we need to cover something like that. Let's cover the Kevin Sorbo filmography and make fun of him for the entire time.
Say, all right, everybody, we're going to talk about Hercules. And I was like, no, the Kevin Sorbo Hercules. I thought you were talking about the Disney one. No.
Hey, I loved the Kevin Sorbo one back in the day. I wouldn't watch it now because, I don't approve of him anymore. Plus, Xena was better, let's be honest.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Although for the longest time, I didn't know it was a spin-off either.
They crossed over a bunch.
Well, there was always the seasons going by. I was like, oh, whatever. Then Hercules would show up and like, oh, this is weird. And they're like, no, she started off on Hercules.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
I get that then. I could see how that might be the case. I think, because at least over here, Xena was much bigger.
Oh, totally. I think that had its the will they won't they of Xena and Gabrielle. That was the talk of the kids in the playground.
Oh, all the kids were like, "Oh, have you seen the one where they get it on?" I'm like, "What? No, of course they didn't. It's a bunch of bullshit. The kid's lying."
I believe there was an episode they kissed, John. But I think that might have been...
but aren't they like tricked into it? Aren't they like manipulated or something?
This is one of those things, though. I have a memory of them being in a bath and stuff and kissing. But I think it was after a real, like, this is like towards the end of Xena, where they're like, we got to just go for this, because otherwise, who's watching anymore?
Yeah, I think it really did appeal to a wide audience.
I think it was YK Kim. He would have suited Xena. Like, the guy never went on to act in anything else. You could have put him in Xena, like friggin' Bruce Campbell was in Xena.
He could have played Xena.
Yeah.
YK Kim is Xena, warrior princess.
Now, that's no knock on Bruce Campbell. Obviously, he's a great screen presence, but by his own admission, he's not an actor. He's just a kind of cheesy guy who can do the one part. But so I think YK Kim would totally fit in with Bruce. But
that would have been great.
Yeah, well, I think it could just had this, YK Kim is a traveling minstrel, and they perform like Xena's going up against some ninjas, and in the background, YK's miming playing a lute or something. Jane pops out of a haystack and starts singing.
I love the way we've put him in Mortal Kombat. We've put him in Xena. Where else are we going to go with this?
If we're doing it, why did anybody else do it? What the hell happened?
Next up, Dragon Sound in space.
Next season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Dragon Sound.
That'd be amazing. On today's show, special guest judge, Grandmaster YK Kim.
Let's just come out wearing the Dragon Sound t-shirts. He's like, okay, yeah, you win. I think you might be slightly biased there, YK.
Hey, if someone walked out in that, respect.
And then one of them comes out like as a drag ninja. He's like, oh no.
Oh, you can't do that. It's blasphemy. No. Saying hell isn't, but that is.
And then Rue asks for a glass of water, and Uncle Song comes out, and then he's just stand watching her for ages. He's like, you can sashay away now, please, Uncle Song.
Oh, I bet Uncle Song can sashay.
Oh yeah. I think I might be up, but I can imagine, like, being able to work the hips and stuff. That would be pretty integral to martial arts. Like, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You've got to be good at moving and balance and swaying and things. So yeah. It's all about like distribution of weight.
That's why you think in certain backstories for Batman, Bruce Wayne trained in ballet and everything. Because you need to be able to control your body. So.
Oh yeah, no, it's actually like a really good thing to do. Bruce Lee did ballet. Because it's fantastic exercise, good for balance, all these kinds of things. Yeah. Even didn't Arnold Schwarzenegger did some for a bit as well, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. I think we talked about it actually last season. Yeah, but
not that he's a fighter, but you know what I mean. It helped his body.
It's a man who knows how to. He's controlling that body anyway. You don't get into that shape without knowing what you're doing with your own physical being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do have a semi-boring note, but I'm going to have to bring it up. I looked into the keys being played here.
Oh,
so I thought,
okay.
well, what are these? So it's the Prophet 600, which you can probably read on it there, which was the first synth ever to feature a MIDI interface, which is a very important step in synthesizers. And they were made from 1982 to 1985. It's not because the company went bust then or anything, although the company did go bust in 87. But it's not because of this.
They had a long life after that, except for the next year where they were completely...
Well, they were very successful, but I don't know. There's a lot that goes into this sort of stuff. But you can still pick them up sort of second hand for just under about $2,000 in UK, in British pounds.
Yeah.
So I kind of want one, but I don't have $2,000. If listeners want to buy me one, feel free, because I got a lot of information about it here, and all of it is far too technical for me to even bother reading out, because I'd just be reciting stats that I don't get.
That's like when we get anytime on Batman and we get to the cars, it's like, it's so and so horsepower, and it's like, just don't know what any of this is. It's like,
but a lot of people get that, whereas this is so technical. I don't think most musicians I know would understand all of this information. And it's telling you how you can improve it, like you can mod it these days with some thing that makes it respond faster, and I don't fucking know, it's crazy. But it was revolutionary. The one before it was the 500, I think was an even bigger one, but this was like, this inspired everything that was to come in synths, basically. And it's still inspiring them, to this day almost, because it was like a hybrid between analog and digital. It did sort of both. So it's an impressive bit of kit that he's got there. Like, he's not fucking around.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's why, Dragon Sound, this is why they have to get free food from their uncle, spend all their money on the goddamn equipment.
Well, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, hang on. If we put this in the context of the movie, rather than, blatantly, what's his face has brought these instruments for everyone. Yeah.
That's why KKM is definitely forked out for, people are going well, what kind of keyboards do you need? I need this thing. Why? Yeah, I'll buy it for you. Okay, well, definitely going to need this very expensive electric drum kit as well. Oh, no, it's fine.
Bit of a Tommy Wiseau situation with the cameras.
Yeah. It's like, so did you rent these, YK? No, I bought them. You bought them? Holy crap.
Well, that's because in the context of the movie, how have these guys got these instruments? You can get, a cheap guitar, whatever, but that synth, that's fancy. And it was, it was produced 1982 to 1985. So I suppose they had just stopped being produced around the time of this film. But even so, I can't imagine the price dropped that much. He's got two.
Yeah. Unless it was a police auction or something. You don't see, but there's blood all over the keys on one side or something.
A ninja was killed while playing them.
Yeah, because it's a thing of this, they're all Orpans. There's not coming out of daddy's pocket, any of this stuff. And they're college students who notoriously have no money. So
yeah, and you know what? We talked about this drum kit a couple of episodes ago, and that's snazzy and expensive as well. I don't get it. The guitars I can buy. Possibly. I mean, they might be fancy guitars. I can't really tell. But the drum kit and I can't wrap my head around this. The movie's ruined now.
Unless this is reserved for the house band. There's oh yeah, you guys come in. No, you don't have to bring your equipment. We got everything set up for you. So we got all the pyrotechnics and all the friggin'
that could genuinely be a thing.
The inflatable balloons going off in the background, and fireworks. All that stuff. That's all comes with the gig.
I could buy it for the drum kit. Synths, I'm not 100% sure, because obviously you got to pre-program sounds in and things like that.
If you're a proper musician too, a lot of musicians will be very I'm very particular about my sound. I'm not gonna just go in and play generic key they got up there. I'm gonna hone this thing.
You'd think that, but it happens a little bit more. I don't know. When we're traveling, the drummer always has to ask, what have they got? Because he wants to figure out what he needs to bring. And sometimes he doesn't bring hardly anything. So it's they got their own drums, they got this, they got that. Yeah, fine.
Yeah. I don't know. I've witnessed a lot of arguments, though, between bands of can we use your drum kit? No, you can't use our drum. I know people who have been in bands, and there's always the thing about, if you're just the bit before a gig, there's always some tension with the band that came on before. We're playing their bass, and why? We don't have a bass, but they want to go home. And
stressful.
But yeah, I mean, this the guy who was booking this club, though, clearly karate fan, taekwondo fan himself. So maybe he is you guys, you go and you're the only band's gonna be playing them. So
he's their sugar daddy. He's I'll treat you boys right.
Yeah. Although maybe it's one of these things too. Jane is also a computer genius, so maybe she's making computer programs on the side to pay for the band. So in order to rise the army to take down her brothers,
I
I was
love,
like, but Jane, if you use that money in your education, then you wouldn't have to pay for the college. And
I love the way we've exploded this now into she's a computer genius.
it's either that or there's another. The other version of this I like is that we're seeing the Dragon Sound songs that are about like, things relevant to the movie. But if they're all writing the songs, Jane might have songs about computers and like
It's all about the Pentiums, baby.
perfect the circle. Draw up that line of code. Perfect
like,
the circle.
One of the band is just a jerk. He came up with that South Park song. He's like, "Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker." He just starts singing that. It's like, oh, this took a turn.
Yeah, I do. Again, I know people like some of my friends were in a band one time, and they had like there was the songwriter, and he write very serious songs, and then the bass player came in, and then one time he brought it like, "Oh yeah, I've written a song," and they just looked at it and I was like, this is clearly a song about you smoking weed and how much you love that. That's all it was. It was all lyrics like, I want to feel you on my lips. I want to inhale you into the... I was like, this is all just about weed and you smoking. That's all you goddamn do is sit around smoking all day.
Isn't this basically how the Beatles started falling out?
It is like you get into number 8 kind of territory.
Well, once you get some fucker singing Bungalow Bill, I mean, it's the end. Come on.
Yeah, I like Bungalow Bill.
Ah, Jesus. Well, there you go. There's the split right there.
Yeah, that's it. So that was the last episode of Miami Minutes.
That's it. It's over.
Yeah, but also like the idea too, though. Like, so I'm just so focused on like who. It's not who Jane who wrote this. Was it just them? Are they just generically going for like, we'll write a song about ninjas and how evil they are? Because I guess or was this like one time John was just like, I forgot Jane's birthday, but I've written her a song that she can perform. And she gets, oh my god, so meaningful, and then thinking it's a love song, and she starts reading the lyrics. It's against the ninja.
What the hell? Possessed souls? What's going on?
It's like Homer buying Marge the bowling ball with his name engraved on it. Like...
Oh, that's kind of sweet. Like, when you look at this, you can think of me.
But her going up is like, what the hell possesses their souls? Like, what? This is nothing I'm into.
Although you mentioning Jane there, it brings me to my only other note, really, is Jane's outfit gave me quite a giggle. She looks like somebody's mum going for a work night out. It's like, you want to look a bit snazzy, but, not too much.
It's got a slightly, cheap wedding dress vibe from it, just because of the design and stuff, that doily kind of vibe. But
that was all the rage. I'm 99% positive my mum had a blouse almost the same as this. She had that fucking hairdo.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. Like, there's a picture of your mum with that hair holding a cigarette. That's just the staple of every household.
Yeah.
Throughout the 80s and 90s.
She smoked constantly until 8 years ago, maybe? I don't know. She just smoke. Jesus Christ, it's awful when you think about it now.
I always thought, no, this was Jane and John's wedding gig.
No.
He's really putting it to Jeff. It's like, we got secretly married. And then, like, the groomsmen's suits are just the Dragon Sound t-shirt.
If I ever get married...
a bow tie atop.
If I ever get married, come to the wedding dressed like that.
They must get requests for, like, I would totally if I was like, because we know someone who, like, played bits of Miami Connection during their wedding, right? Murren and Jessa.
Yeah. Who may be coming on. We may have 1 or 2 guests coming up at some point, people.
Yeah. But it's like, so I can imagine every friggin' month YK Kim's probably getting, like, would you play my wedding? Like,
no.
He's like, in case you didn't notice, I cannot play any instruments. I would literally just be holding a guitar and jumping around. That's fine.
It doesn't stop them doing it. I've seen loads of videos of them at, like, conventions and things.
Yeah, that's because I know some people will be like, they'll put out, like, friggin', like, people we know ask Kevin Eldon, the comedian, to come to their wedding.
Yeah.
To perform Virginia Plain like he did in Big Train. And he was just like, I'm very, very flattered, but no.
The fact he even responded, though, is amazing.
Oh, yeah, that's always a good sign of a good celeb, if they just even see a ridiculous request and just go, thanks, but no. The ones who ignore you is you assholes.
The worst is when they ignored you. They read your message, it's on read, and they've not replied. It's like, either don't open it, or open it and give me even like a sorry, I'm busy. Anything.
Yeah. No, totally. Just treat me like a human being, for God's sake.
Not an animal.
Not a ninja.
Not a ninja. Ninjas ain't humans.
No.
Well, they're from Outworld, so yeah.
It'd be amazing at the end though. It turns out during the big final fight, it's like they knock off one of the ninja's masks, and it's just like fiery balls and a swirling vortex of gas. What the hell?
He throws a rope through someone. Get over here!
Some of the band are like, "What the hell is going on, Mark?" He's like, "Didn't you read the lyrics against the ninja? I told you they're not human."
At the very last scene, a portal to Outworld should open, and through steps Raiden. It's like, I need you to come with me. Earthrealm is in danger.
Oh, well, the perfect. I still have to be the Christopher Lambert, French Raiden coming in. But it should be totally like, only through the elimination of violence can we achieve world peace. And then the door opens like, "You are very wise. You are very wise, Waikiki Kim." I'm trying to do my best Christopher Lambert.
That's a great one.
So you must come with me.
Can we please edit this together and put it up, and it just goes into the song, Mortal Kombat. Dragon Sound will return in.
Dragon Sound performing Mortal Kombat. Does someone analyze Profits 6,000?
Oh fuck yes! We've just improved both films.
Yeah. Oh, at least we still got a novelization to write. We got a spec script of Mortal Kombat meets Miami Connection. Mortal Connection. There we go.
Mortal Connection. Oh, Miami Combat.
Miami Combat? Yeah.
That's the video game.
The thing is, though, Miami Combat that sounds like that could be the name of like a 90s direct-to-video.
That's probably
film.
why it sprung to mind.
Yeah, it literally exists already. He's like, "Oh, yeah, Chow Yun Fat was in that, right?" It's like him and like the bad guy from Cyborg. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And I would watch it. I would own it.
But yeah. I know we have one other bit of business to attend to. So.
Oh yeah, people. Right. Oh geez. So we see Dragon Sound play. So you know what that means. You take a drink. Drinking game. Woo.
I feel though you should have a red tumbler full of water for this episode in particular.
I must admit, I don't own a red glass or cup, so I'm going to have to buy... I'm genuinely going to source one now from Amazon or Etsy or something.
I'm pretty sure you literally walk down to Asda. There'll be one right there.
Maybe. But I counted, maybe I'm wrong now, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. I counted 5 fist pumps. Again, listeners, I say this each time. If you want to take 5 drinks now, that's on you. Spoiler alert, we're recording this on a weeknight, so I'm going to take 1 big drink.
Yeah.
Extra big. But if you want 5, go for it. You do you. Enjoy your life the way you see fit. Just be safe.
So I'm just watching just footage of these guys playing too, and just seeing like there's at one point like 27 seconds. Not Oates, the guitar player. He's just shredded. He's just so into it's full on like, oh, it's 80s rock, baby. He's got the mullet and the tash, and his arm is just playing that thing like a goddamn saw.
Well, this is his moment. This is what he was born for. Like, even if YK Kim didn't help him get the instruments, they're his instruments. This is like, oh, my life's been building to this moment. I'm going to be a star.
Realistically, it probably is. Those are his keyboards. And he's probably going over every couple of seconds and be like, "Be careful of that.
Don't turn those knobs. I need that for later.
Don't touch anything up here. And press down the keys gently." All right. It's like, there's one goddamn key. And then the other guy would be like so stressed. It's like, yeah, it was really horrible because just kept thinking I was going to break his goddamn really expensive. Why does he need 2? Why did he bring both of them?
But we will then. We've had our drinks. We'll break the connection once more. Minute 21 is over and done. But this song ain't over and done. We're going to have more to talk about next time. So join us again in 1 week. In the meantime, speak to us on Facebook at Miami Minutes Taekwondo Orphanage. Twitter at Miami Minutes, if Twitter's still an ongoing concern by the time you hear this. Instagram, Miami Minutes. And why don't you go to, let's pick Patreon today. Go to the Sleepy Charlie Media Patreon page for more wonderful bonus, exciting things, chatting nonsense. I think we might have talked about this before. I think we should do a new commentary track on something. We'll pick a movie to do a commentary track on. It might not be connected to Miami Connection.
No.
We'll pick something. It might be an 80s movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll think of something. And yes, do join us again in 1 week for more exciting anti-ninja action.
Listen to me.